Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Elden Ring multiplayer shenanigans. Here we're starting off with a Landell invasion with the rune level 994 Somber 9 strength build that I have. After doing some more co-op, and some of which will be featured later, I got some souls to get some new weapons upgraded. One of my personal favorites, the vulgar militia shotel, and a new favorite, the iron greatsword. Seeing the shield, I'm trying to go for the nice pierce riposte. However, the Phantom's friend did not let me running heavy that shield. Um, Now, as the title kind of went off, my idea of this one is to discuss how Elden Ring feels a little bit like takes some inspiration from Sekiro, even in the PvP of if you have like the right tool for the job, that that things seem a lot easier. Like halberds are good because they have really good forward momentum and chasing, and fighting in the room with a bunch of pages and perfumers is very helpful when I'm trying to fight two guys at the same time. And the perfumer was very nice and gave me a bubble barrier and an attack boost. So don't worry, NPCs, I'll save you and avenge you. Against these poor two dudes that are just playing some honest co-op. And yeah, this guy's backpedaling, but I don't blame him. And he's using the meteor ore blade and not moon veil, so like, good on this guy. Like, this is just some solid, good. This is good stuff. I love it. When I got him separated from his friend, it was nice and quick, but still good fight. Loved it. Like to see the variety. Meteoric Orville is one of my favorites. And now we're jumping into some co-op, but this is also an invasion video because, but yeah, the right tool for the right job. Halberd, in that case, Vulgar Militia Shuttle was a great tool. Here, my Frost Iron Greatsword is not as great of a tool because I think these things have either insane frost resistance. And as I had mentioned, we are invaded by Waxsmith Grog. I wanted to call him Greg. But he is on theme. Although you'll see him come up after the host in just a moment. He's power stancing at least one gargoyle sword, and I think his second is the gargoyle's black blade. So good theming. And those are fun great swords that need a little bit of love. And my goodness, these giant cats are very annoying, and that would have killed me if it connected. Because power stance things hurt a lot. Unfortunately for our Waxsmith friend, these giant cats can also hit him. And here I just pull out the Stormhawk axe because the hyper axes just feel good in this patch. And here the host and I try and chase him down because, yeah. We don't need three things trying to kill us, two of them being giant cats with insane amounts of health, because there comes the second cat. My goodness, things are a little rough. And he's also got Piercing Fang. There he gets hit with a Scythe. I get, like, it's not a wake up, but I get Garunk's Beast Claw, and we did it. We fought off the invader in an awesome fight. However, we're gonna cut in just a second because the poor host does not survive to the cats. And now, having the correct tool for this job, I have the Golden Epitaph with the Ash of War Last Rites, and this thing does extra damage to undead. I think it's 30%. And Last Rites enables me and my buddies to deal even more damage. Now, this Deathrite bird just it chunks. Like, this guy hits as hard as a giant train, and he does frostbite build up to hit even harder. So, as you can see, we're doing big damage numbers. I feel like a good part of, in addition to the buff that I gave everybody, because the special of this, right, is it gives the shared order buff, except it gives it to everybody around. So even the rocks are doing like a really large amount of damage. So here we're just enjoying a nice, clean boss fight. And there's a lot of winged scythes. Like, you'll see, like, and for whatever reason, my Ash of War clipped the terrain, but it's alright because we've done a lot of damage to this guy. But yeah, there are a lot of winged scythes just like everywhere in this particular level bracket. Like, it's good. I like scythes, and its Ash of War can be really helpful, but it's a little bit, I don't know, it's crazy. Like, it's like Rivers of Blood in 1.05. Now here we're in War Dead Catacombs, which is, for honest invasions, one of my favorite, like, just a really silly, fun place to invade. I hate being here because these enemies are all really powerful. And you have to deal with the rot. But hey, for invasions, it's not too bad. And part of why I really like having just the little bit of extra faith is I can have Flame cleanse me, so you don't have to use Scarlet Boluses. And with Bestial Vitality and the physic that I have, the passive regen, like the health loss on Flame cleanse me is negligible. So here I'm planning on being really sneaky. I want to catch everybody in a Black Flame Tornado. However, this is not a super easy Ash of War to land, especially when there's 3 dudes all in a tunnel shooting lasers out of their eyes. But I have a cheeky idea, because I don't think they're going to come out of there. So my thought is, if I run past them all and they're really eager to fight, they'll follow me, and then I'll catch them all in Black Flame Tornado. However, I get hit by pest threads, and they're all just right there, and I just get immediately blendered. And now, do I deserve that point down? No. But sometimes the game gives you things you don't deserve. And other times, it does, where I get this nice, salty run back. And I have the opportunity to teach some lessons about respect to these poor fools, and to you guys I can give some insight about how to use the Winged Scythe based off of this host's complete and utter failure to understand how it's used. So, the Winged Scythe Ash of War, when it connects, prevents the use of healing flasks, and also blue flasks. Now, if I'm at like 80% health and passively regenning, I don't care that I can use flasks, so running away and trying to heal is pathetic and kind of useless, because I have no incentive to not just follow you and murder you. So thank you all for listening on my as I got some very satisfying revenge, which doesn't always happen. You don't always need to be petty, but I was just like, you know what? I might as well try the local invasion feature just to see how it's going. And excuse me, sometimes you get to get revenge on players who think they're hot stuff, and it's really fun. And other times, you run into 2 dudes who are playing co-op, memeing it up with like an old Minecraft song parody names, both with Gugs or the Greatsword, Ultra Greatsword, just hamming it up and having a good time. Now, I've been testing out Ultras just because of the hyper armor, and like it's solid. Like, I can feel like I can like bully a player pretty well with Stormstone. Zweihander, it just takes some getting used to. However, those guys had a lot of smacking power, so I do a nice tactical retreat, to my friend this giant lobster. However, because these guys are not bloodthirsty, they're just two friends playing the game, they just go up the elevator, which good on them. They're just playing the level. And I re-equipped to handle the situation a little bit better. I like halberds. Yeah, halberds are, yes, really good with all the running pokes. I think why I like them, like, in addition to just like the poise damage, is they feel like two-handed spears from Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 was my first FromSoft game, and I had a great time. And spears, just two-handing a spear, just stunning and a PvE enemy, just like hitting him twice, walking back, getting some stamina back, poke him twice, walk back, get stamina back, poke him twice. Like I wasn't very good when I first started the game, but I had fun messing with all the PvE enemies. And here I'm waiting because I know that there is an omen. Well, there should be an omen up here on the other side of the stairs. However, these guys cleared out the omen, and I switched over to the greatsword so I can have a little bit more speed but still hit really hard. Seeing that there's no omen, I'm just like, hi guys, how are you? And because these guys are here for a good time, they're just like, you know what, this guy stopped, this guy waved, we'll forgive the ambush, let's honor duel this guy. And I'm just like, all right, sure. Like, they didn't have to. I appreciate it, and because I think sometimes people use just like a little bit more like optimal setups, or they saw a video on YouTube and saw something was good and they wanted to try it out. So I'm personally just being like, oh, I'm just trying to be a little less, a little bit more forgiving about just like what everybody's using, and just be chill and just enjoy everybody's company and all the good fights, because I like multiplayer. Let's have it be a good experience for everybody. And I don't know if this guy understood it at first, but like this guy, he gets the wiggle of like, I'm ready, let's go. And yeah, like I think this guy is just like kind of new to PvP, doesn't understand piercing fang and with how it worked, especially because it's a missable Ash of War. But like, GG guys. But yeah, like you don't have to honor duel people, but like we appreciate it, and we'll take it, and we'll just have fun and have a good time. And I appreciated that they were just like, no, we get it. You had a good corner ambush next to an elevator, so you took it. No hard feelings. And here, the very wise puzzle solution of what's good against a gank squad? Another gank squad. In DS2, there is a DLC boss that's just 3 dudes. And here with Via's champions, the final phase of it is 3 dudes. So what's good against 3 dudes? Bring in 2 more dudes of your own to go fight them. And on New Game Plus 8, which is like the max difficulty, like they can be potentially very deadly. But because they're just player sized, we can blender them. Because I think the other Phantom here is using Blood Misery Cord Reduvia. Like that's brutal. Yeah, and the host using those like Great Stars and Celebrant Skull, like that is also pretty brutal. And I'm just over here just rocking my greatsword and beast spells. And Lionel has just like that little bit of lag latency that can sometimes make trades really hard in PvP. And he has that nice pierce damage for like increased damage while someone is attacking. So we're teaching him a lesson. Like he was a bad ganker in PvP, and that's why like yeah, I'm using the shotel, but because of the delay, I'm like I don't want to die at the last second, so I'm gonna pull out my good old parrying dagger with thunderbolt because he's standing on water. Except the other guys in this one, they're deadly and optimal. So GG guys, and sometimes just obliterating a boss is super satisfying, and other times giant slog invasions are very satisfying. So here, because there's just the one person and there's another guy there and the host doesn't seem to be anywhere, I'm just like, are we in a fight club? I don't know. This person doesn't seem to be super aggressive towards me, so I just got my Zweihander. I'm here. I'm hanging out. And my co-invader happens to be like my co-invader isn't trying to like get my attention and tell me to jump in, because like that's another thing too. Like at least for me personally, like if someone was ganking and I got a co-invader but they can't tell what's going on, like I will like run over and like weapon wiggle and like be like, hey, come on, let's go. Where this guy just isn't doing that. Granted, I don't know if that's just a me thing, but yeah, he's not trying to get my attention, and this Phantom is not at all trying to fight me. So I'm just here hanging out, just making sure that the host doesn't do any funny business. And also, I'm just like, this is a double Nagi white mask invader. Um, like, that's a really powerful build still in 1.10. So I'm just like, he's probably fine. And now here's the host. And I'm just like, all right, the host, Phantom, two invaders. All right, I'm getting in on this. I want to fight. Let's get a nice 2v2. And I think that's what they were going for too. So, just, and there I think it was just a little bit of a targeting thing, and it happens. Yeah, and Giant's Flame hurts. And yeah, I think you saw for a second there, but this Phantom has the winged scythe, and host has Moonveil. Like, except he's not like he's using the L2, but he's not spamming it. So like, sure, that's fine. And the yeah, they're using the Phantom has the dragon scale katana, and here I just like axes. Stormhawk axe looks cool. I know I haven't used them a ton in it, but I want to use them more because they feel good in this patch. I don't know if I'm very good with them because I'm just really used to the greatsword, but man, those bestial incantations just feel good, and just walking up and smacking someone with a lightning axe, it's nice. And I think depending on like, I think if I'm two-handing, I might have enough hyper armor to take down the katana. Um, there, the Phantom is just like, all right, I got mine. And here I'm just like, whoop, this is a 2v1. So the thing is, I know I need some more FP because having Thunderstorm is a really good 360 attack. So and here I get this Y-hander back out just because it is it's big. I can hit both of them at the same time relatively easily, and the hyper armor is really good. And same with Storm Stomp. And what's funny is because of the really wide range of this Y-hander attacks, I almost accidentally kill the host in a little bit here. See, like that attack just swept them, and then Storm Stomp hit them. Like if I realized that they had gotten hit by Storm Stomp, I could have actually killed the host there. But the host was being nice, and they're just like, all right, I'm gonna let my Phantom do this because we're just having some fun, doing some PvP. And then like I'm just like, okay, they're summoning a friend. It's not great. Let's see if I can finish off this Phantom. and then maybe get the host, but things are going slow. Able to dodge that so I can keep my flasks, which is good. And then, all right, they're here, so I'm just like, okay, a little bit more pressure. And then I, after a second, I see the guy coming in the background, and I'm just like, oh, well, I guess we go for a few more swings. I see the guy in the background, and I'm just like, oh no, this guy is eager. He's got a katana. Granted, all these guys have katanas, but I'm just like, uh-oh, this is, this guy's gonna jump in. And, like, uh, like these guys are just playing. They've got Tanner's tongue on, it's still active, like, there's no bitterness, but that does not mean I'm gonna be stupid and get 3v1. I'm gonna run back and get help. Because like as I mentioned earlier, like I'm there are like strategies like running back into the PvE, trying to use terrain, like as long as no one's being like this super dishonest jerk about it. Like there are some ladder things that are just like it just like feels dishonest, but like for this, like they're following in, they got help. Like I'm fighting, like I'm not like just running, like I'm turning and fighting when I have the chance. We're just having some good fun. So nothing nothing wrong. Like it could be depending on the build you're using and how and like what kind of a day you're having, like going from fight club to more traditional invasion chaos, you, it could be more a little bit. It could be understandable if someone could be getting a little bit annoyed with these guys. Now, this guy actually is using the winged scythe more because it actually does more damage, but because I have now less than half health and everybody is around, like I knew that that guy, he's got his backup, his buddies are with him. Like I can't just immediately turn around and bully him when I can't have healing flask access. Where in like the other invasion that I pointed out, where I was at full full health, they hit me with the L2, and then I still had 80% health. There was no reason for me to disengage because of that. Where here, this Phantom is using the scythe at like there. Thankfully, I dodged it, but they're using the scythe at times that if I did get hit with the Ash of War, even a Phantom hit and couldn't recover, that it would be like it would actually matter in the fight, and I would need to, and I would be at a pretty big risk of dying. Here, just since I have some space, I just grab a meat dumpling. Again, I don't feel bad about using these because they're very easily farmable, just like even from like Stormvale Castle. And the second Phantom here was buffing when finishing off some other PvE, and I love that strafe. He's going for like the second rod breath, but and Rivers is not what it was. Hyper armor beats Rivers. You just smack him because it doesn't give any hyper armor. Um, I don't know. I think I've said this in a previous video. Like, I've played in 1.05 with like unnerfed, unshackled Rivers of Blood and Bloodhound Step. Like, even though like is Rivers good now? Absolutely. And in the hands of someone who's very skilled with PvP, it's probably pretty devastating. And here's the shotel doing work. I just love this thing. Is it the best halberd? No. Is it like one of my favorite weapons in this game? Absolutely, because yeah, I love it. But what was I? Oh yeah, Rivers being really good. Yeah, Rivers is really good. But for the people who have played Elden Ring in like 1.05 through now and dealt with the oh yeah, then we got a rematch because they're just Tanner's tonguing it up, and I just thought it was fun to get the rematch. Like I wasn't seeking these guys out. I was in Altus, just globally invading, and here I am for round two. But the But if you had to deal with unnerfed rivers and double seppuku bloodhound, unnerfed bloodhound steppe, where you can like travel across the entire map constantly with no shrinking step size bloodhound steppe, rivers is like it's still a joke to you if you made it through all of that. So poor Phantom. And so here I'm just like, all right, here we go. They've got a little bit more poise this time. I think they just were they wearing the snow cloak? I think they were. And then we got a thirsty boy coming in on our side. Um, Again, like they've got Donner's Tongue active. I'm just gonna be patient because I know I have a friend on the way. So I'm just not gonna rush because a 2v2 is much easier than a 1v2. So we're just kind of dancing around, not doing much, and here comes the thirsty boy with Royal Knight's Resolve, Venomous Fangs. Venomous Fangs, really good claw weapon. Now this the Phantom's poisoned. However, my friend needed a little bit of vigor, and he was a little bit too bloodthirsty, and that was a clutch Moonveil dodge. But hey, the fight's going. PVE got involved, so like we're having a good time. And don't you worry, fallen friend. I will avenge you. And here we pull out the greatsword because sometimes greatswords they just feel good, and I'm not afraid to mash R2 if you're walking into not R2 R1 if you're walking into my face, and then poor Denise. Yep, good fight. You don't always have to bow, but it's nice to just be like wave, say good fight. Thank you all for watching, and have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next one.